When the extent of the fallout following Dieselgate became clear, and the share price of Volkswagen, Porsche and Audi securities fell because the vehicle manufacturer failed to adequately and publicly disclose admission of fraud, the main German investor association, DSW, and the European Federation of Investors and Financial Service Users, Better Finance, looked into the different possibilities to obtain redress for abused Volkswagen investors. Following extensive investigations by DSW into the various possibilities for VW investors to claim damages through legal services offered by several Dutch foundations, Better Finance decided to join the Stichting Volkswagen Investors Claim. The foundation is funded by international law firms with a strong track record of litigations involving Dutch investors' foundations, as well as experience with international cases similar to the VW case. As such, this foundation is best placed to represent the interests of VW investors, especially since the strategy is particularly suitable to retail investors from all countries. The World Federation of Investors has also joined the foundation, which thus includes all the major international and European individual investors' organizations.
I'm chairman of the supervisory board, and we of course represent individual investors who have invested in Volkswagen, in which we seek with all the associations we're working with a European collective redress for individual investors. It's really very unique. As I mentioned, we have 3 or 4 major European investor associations, primary investor associations, DSW, Better Finance, World Federation of Investors, and their membership associations, including the Swedish Shareholders Association. So this is a broad collection of organizations that advocate for individual investors. And the Stichting Volkswagen Investor Claim is really unique. It's a simple solution offering to Volkswagen. Its objective is to enable Volkswagen to get back to the business it should be doing, is making good cars. But more importantly, for the individual investor, he or she can join or not join the stitching. There's no admission fee. They can take a look at what the final settlement is, accept it or not accept it.
Well, the position of DSW is twofold, which means that we recommend to the Volkswagen investors that they first of all try to join legal actions in Germany because of statutes of limitations which might run out. And secondly, and I think that's very important, to join the foundation in the Netherlands because that is free of costs and without any risk. And it might offer an excellent opportunity to take part in a settlement with Volkswagen. Well, we recommend, if you go to court or if you want to join a joint action by DSW, that first of all you have to find out what your individual damage is with your Volkswagen investment, and then make a cost-benefit analysis, which means that if you go to court, of course, you have costs, and you have to have a look whether the outcome, the compensation, is really higher than the cost.
It is an important case not only because of the size of the damage caused by the conduct of Volkswagen, but because of the particular role Volkswagen has in Germany, in Europe, and even beyond. And from there comes also the challenge we have. I am the chairman of the board of this foundation, the Stichting, and we have one thing very much in mind, that we want to have an optimum solution for the investors, the shareholders, the true owners of the company.
Better Finance is the short name for the European Federation of Investors and Financial Services Users. It gathers almost all the small investor and financial user organizations throughout Europe, and it's based in Brussels, and it defends the interests of the small investors, savers, etc. Better Finance has decided to support the Stichting Volkswagen Investor Claim because we think it's the best way for small investors in Volkswagen throughout Europe and in the world to get compensation for the damages. And the reason is that first it's a foundation that is really focused on people. It accepts and caters for small investors, individual investors, and also, as it has been said before, it is free of charge for any Volkswagen investor to register and to hopefully come to participate to a settlement with Volkswagen for a fair deal between the abused investors and the Volkswagen company. Better Finance counts around 35 countries throughout all Europe, including non-EU countries. And it's the only EU level organization representing individual investors and savers.
The Dutch legal system allows a lot of flexibility when it comes to settlements. So the Dutch system offers a way how to declare a settlement binding, which will have the effect to be recognized as a decision from a European member state. So it will have a direct effect on all the member states within the European Union as well. The complication in the case is that this is a global case. So a lot of jurisdictions are involved. In a lot of jurisdictions, individual litigation are starting at the time. And this is complicating the solution because you have various statutes of limitation, you have various chances in various jurisdictions for plaintiffs to get to a result. And this varies. A settlement is always something that tries to have a reasonable and equal solution for all affected investors. Well, the goal for the Stichting Volkswagen Investors Claim is to find a quick and reasonable solution that helps the investors on one end, and on the other hand also helps Volkswagen